I think it's important to lay out exactly what's happening today, the dynamics of how the nation is on the verge of total destruction. Not only do we have a COVID-19 continuing pandemic, whether or not the reoccurrence is exaggerated or not, obviously its perception becomes reality. The cable news networks are doing their best to create panic and hysteria. The president does not have good advisors around him, disloyal people like so-called Dr. Fauci, I will call him, who's going to profit most likely from any vaccines, which will undoubtedly probably be unsafe to take if they're rushed too quickly, and unsafe in general, according to my client, Judy Mikovits, the author of Plague of Corruption. And we have, of course, the matters concerning the radical left's looting, burning, maiming, killing in our streets, which continues on and on. We have a defunding and deactivization of our police department. We're left defenseless. Things are more than in dire straits. Now, what makes this even more scary is that our industrialists and the media, moguls and the empires and the corporate world is now uniting behind the radical left because they're cowards. Okay, these corporations controlled mostly by white people, just call them a racist. They run for the exits and they're throwing in the towel, whether it's Walt Disney with regard to taking Song of the South off of rides and shutting them down, signing first looks agreement with Colin Kaepernick, former racist quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, for his life story. We're now to deify that. Whether it's the NBA with writing Black Lives Matter on the courts and letting the players put whatever disparaging remark they can towards whites and others on their jerseys. Whether it's the NFL and having two anthems, one for Americans in general and one for radical African Americans who don't recognize this country, and that's why they kneel. I can go on and on and on. But what happened in Nazi Germany? It was the industrialists, the corporations, that rallied around Hitler when he seized power. It was Deutsche Bank that financed the concentration camps. By the way, they attempted to loan money to the Clintons to buy their house in Chappaqua during the Clinton years, and I killed that one. It was BMW, it was Mercedes, it was others in the industrial sector that kept Hitler afloat and furthered the killing of millions and millions of people worldwide. Now we have our own corporations and other special interests, labor unions and others, rallying around the destruction of this country, trying to divide it more by racial terms. This is the dire straits that we are in. And what do we have with regard to President Trump? Now, I support the president. Like I said, I'm critical. I'm not here to be a groupie cheerleader like Sean Hannity. I'm here to tell the truth because I want the president to succeed. And I want this country to be saved. But you know what? It depends on us. It doesn't depend on even him. But what he needs to do is to be stronger. He needs to take control of the police departments and assure them that they're going to be respected and paid. He can, in effect, order the police to do their job and to free them up of all these regulations that are putting them at great risk. He can take action with regard to China. Now, yesterday he signed a piece of legislation that was actually created by the Democrats and Pelosi to potentially sanction China, individual leaders in China. But it's potential. He didn't sanction anybody yesterday. And there's no showing that he will in the future. It is Freedom Watch that's brought class actions against the Chinese. It is Freedom Watch that has brought criminal complaints against the communist Chinese, not the Chinese people, they're good people, particularly Chinese Americans. Over 30% who have signed up for our class action lawsuit against the communist Chinese leadership are Asian Americans and Chinese Americans. It's the evil Chinese leadership. But now's the time for action, not talk. And the only action the president has taken was to commute the sentence of Roger Stone, which was exactly the wrong thing to do. Because if he claims to be the law and order president, he doesn't let somebody off the hook, for the most part, who committed 7 felony counts, 5 of perjury, 1 of witness tampering, and 1 of obstruction of justice. I don't care who you are. And it doesn't leave Comey Clapper, Brennan, the Clintons, Bidens, and everybody else unaccountable because we're holding them accountable at Freedom Watch with our citizens' grand juries. Just because they have not had justice does not mean that we conservatives do not follow the law and do what's right ethically and morally. It was John Adams who said, without ethics, morality, and religion, it doesn't matter how many times you change your rulers or forms of government, there will be no lasting liberty. And of course, Jefferson, who the radical left, radical blacks want to erase from our history, it was Jefferson who said that unless the government fears the people, there will be tyranny. Well, we the people will rise up, and we the people will defend ourselves peacefully and legally. Freedom Watch has started a new American militia. It's going to be peaceful and legal, but we have to prepare for our defense because it is not long before these barbarians who are already inside our gates will be killing and maiming and looting and burning your property and your children and your lives. It's not that far away. Already, these barbarians went into Beverly Hills a week and a half ago wearing T-shirts that said, "Eat the rich, kill the rich," like Jeffrey Dahmer, and then eat them. This is where we are. We are in a Bolshevik revolution, and we must fight back. So the president needs to be strong. People are seeing through, not talk, action. You are the president of the United States. I repeat, you are the president of the United States. And we who support you want action. We don't want tweets. We don't want words. We don't want boasts. We don't want pounding of chests. We want action. So this is tough love. It's not the BS that you hear. It's coming out of the president right now because that's all it is if there's no action. So President, we support you. We want you to succeed. But we are also there to defend ourselves, and we will do that by the grace of God. And that's the reason for the new American militia, peaceful and legal. It's what we do at Freedom Watch. It's peaceful and legal, and it's a new American revolution. It's a counter-revolution at this point to save this country. So share this podcast far and wide. Find it at iTunes, freedomwatchusa.org, Spotify, Roku, Amazon Fire, the new Twitter called Parlay, Twitter, and Facebook. Share it. Get the word out. It's not the time to be a cheerleader. It's the time to tell the president, because we love him, to do the right job. Cut the words, take action along with Freedom Watch. And that's what we need to be doing. So go to our website at freedomwatchusa.org. Sign up for our citizens' class actions against the communist Chinese, our criminal complaints in The Hague, our class actions against social media, many of the things we're doing. We have a lawsuit that's going forward against Antifa, the domestic terrorists. Even the Ninth Circuit allowed it to go forward just the other day. We need your help. We need your tax-deductible contributions. This is expensive, and it's risky. And Clayman and Freedom Watch and you are willing to take risks. Our founding fathers pledged their fortunes, their sacred honor, and risked their lives to found a new nation. We now have to do the same. God bless you. God bless America. Stay safe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.